conozcan la lucha que yo inicio el día de hoy. No contra una persona, no para dañar a nadie, sino más bien para luchar contra este sistema que ha estigmatizado el hecho de nacer hombre. En este caso lo mío tiene que ver con el cuidado de mis hijas. Las leyes dicen que quien tiene derecho es la mujer. Y en este momento yo soy de sexo femenino, en este momento yo también soy mamá, así me considero. Yo estoy muy seguro de mi sexualidad. Lo que he buscado es que quiero ser mamá, para yo poder también dar el cariño y protección que una mamá puede dar a sus hijos. Esto como una salida, porque justamente la ley es la que nos está quitando nuestro derecho de ser padres. Entonces estoy utilizando la ley para que me devuelvan ese derecho de compartir con mis hijos.
All right, guys, so this might be one of the most base stories that I've ever read, right? Or at least the most base story that I've read in a long time. And it got woke transgender activists upset. They heated by this story right here. Because this based father has gamed the system in his country to get custody of his children, okay? Yes, he really did game the system. As in Ecuador, apparently, just like the United States, the courts tend to favor mothers in regards to custody battles, okay? It is systemically discriminatory against fathers. I'm sure all of my single fathers and brothers out there with baby mamas understand the pain, right? But again, this father right here decided to game the system, right? He decided to go woke in order to get custody of his children by identifying as a woman. He became a transgender woman legally, right? In order to gain custody of his kids. And again, boy, I gotta tell you, this is, again, one of the most base stories I've ever read in my life. And I'm happy to share it with you guys because I find this to be hilarious, while also at the same time, just another example of the Cuckoo Pop World that we're living in, that a father has to jump through these hoops in order to simply be able to spend time with his kids. It really makes no sense, okay? So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. A father has legally changed his gender identification in an attempt to gain custody of his two young daughters following a bitter split from his wife. René Salinas Ramos, 47, is now listed as female on official documents to his native Ecuador, despite the fact he still identifies as a cisgender male in his everyday life. The desperate dad claimed he made the drastic decision due to the justice system in his country, which he said typically benefits mothers in custody cases. Quote, being a father in this country, Ecuador, is punished and I'm only seen as a provider, Ramos told local outlet La Voz de la Tamambata. Quote, what I have been looking for is to give the love and protection that a mother can give her children. Ramos alleged that his daughters currently live in an abusive environment with their mother and claimed he hasn't seen his children in more than 5 months. Quote, the law says that the one who has the right is the woman. As of this moment, I am female. Now I am also a mom. That's how I consider myself, Ramos told Media Ensemble outside the city of Cuenca's civil registry office on December 30th. I am very sure of my sexuality. What I have sought is that I want to be a mother so that I can give the love and protection of a mother. Wow. Again, this is one of the most base things I've ever read in my life, okay? Because, again, you know, it's just funny because this guy is taking advantage of a clear loophole here where he said, look, since y'all want to play games, since you want to discriminate against fathers, since you want to discriminate against men, okay, cool. I'm going to identify as a woman, which therefore would make me a mother, okay? And it seems to me that Ecuador is woke enough to allow this, right? You can change your gender or your sex or whatever. So again, this guy found a loophole in order to try to get custody of his children. I mean, hey, I disagree with him doing that, right? I don't think that people should be able to do that. But hey, in a situation like this, desperate times calls for desperate measures. sometimes in order to make the wokes realize how cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs of a world that they're living in, you got to do stuff like this, right? You got to game the system to show people how stupid some of these laws are, right? I mean, I think it's stupid that one, he has to struggle as a father to get custody of his kids, and it also is stupid as well too, to allow him to change his sex. But again, if they allow you to do it, it is what it is. Do what you got to do, right? More power to you. So this is him, right, doing this interview. I played the interview at the beginning of this video. I didn't have it translated to English, so I don't know what he was saying, even though I'm trying to learn Spanish, right? I'm actually taking classes to try to learn Spanish, but not quite there yet, right? So any of my Spanish speakers that watch my videos, feel free to, in the comment section, you can translate the beginning video of this video. However, his actions have angered activists across the country who fought hard to have the law changed for genuine trans citizens. The Ecuadorian Federation of LGBTI organizations released a statement denouncing Ramos' outlandish actions earlier this week. Quote, "This man's private matter to obtain custody of his daughters isn't the spirit of the law." Prominent trans activist Diane Rodriguez, Ecuador's first trans assembly member and national director of the Ecuadorian Federation of LGBTI organizations, told Vice World News. Rodriguez also told the outlet she first thought this was fake news, but now, quote, "We are afraid that in the assembly things will go backwards and they will start legislating against us," as they should, right? Because again, this is Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But this so-called trans activist, Diane Rodriguez, sounds like a transphobe, right? You're denying this man his reality. He says, look, I am a mother, right? I'm a mother. I identify as a woman. You can't deny this man his reality. It was, I think, therefore I am, right? But now all of a sudden when this dad is doing it to get custody of his kids, oh, they want to say it's fake. Oh, they want to say that, oh, this is not real. No. You told us that you can't judge a book by its cover, no matter what they look like, no matter how they live their personal life. If they say that they're trans, if they say they're non-binary, that's what it is, and you have to respect that. Again, it reminds me of the Colorado mass shooter who came out as non-binary after the shooting. They was quick to go on TV, the trans activists, and say, no. This person is not actually non-binary. He don't look non-binary, right? When before they told us you can't judge people on how they look because, you got some trans people that are too poor, right? They're too poor to undergo the expensive operations and to buy the makeup and all the stuff they need to look the opposite sex. So they told us we're not supposed to judge. But again, when it comes to situations like this and then the Colorado mass shooting where, the narrative here doesn't really fit, they want to all of a sudden say that you have to look a certain way to be transgender or non-binary. It's kind of funny how that works. Again, this to me sounds very transphobic, right? This person sounds transphobic. They're denying this father his reality, which is that she, right? She is a mother, right? I got to start calling this father a mother because, hey, that's what she wants to be, right? And what's also funny to me is how people who live their lives pretending to be the opposite sex want to dictate and control who else can pretend to live their lives and be the opposite sex. Again, it's just funny how that works. Meanwhile, the custody battle between the dad and his ex-wife is ongoing. Quote, "Until this matter is resolved, the children have to stay with their mother," Ramos said, as reported by Jam Press. "The law is taking away our rights to be parents. Changing my official documents is a proof of love." Ramos is Ecuador's first reported case of a man taking advantage of the change in gender laws in an attempt to give himself a leg up in a custody case. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, because again, if they discriminate against men and now he identifies as a woman, hey, they're going to have to split time, right? At the very least, it's going to become a lot more interesting in regards to if they still rule against this man. If they still rule against him, then hey, I can say that the courts are bigoted, right? They're bigoted. They're transphobic. They are not acknowledging that this person is a real mother, even though they say they are, right? And again, they told us that's all you need. You don't need to look like one. You don't have to really live like one. You just need to say. All you got to do is just say that, hey, I am the opposite sex, and therefore you are. In the U.S., laws regarding trans citizens changing their gender identity differs according to state. According to Bankrate, transgender individuals can legally change the gender of their driver's licenses in all 50 states, but the process can be challenging. Some states require birth certificate amendment and proof of gender-affirming surgery. Last September, Montana became the latest state to allow transgender people to change the gender on their birth certificates following a contentious legal battle. Yeah, so some states require a birth certificate amendment and proof of gender affirming surgery, aka you got to get your battle scars, right? You just can't say you are. You got to actually get your battle scars, right? You got to get your twigs and your berries chopped off, okay? Or you got to get, I don't know what they do to vaginas, right? I think they grow penises. Is that what they do? I'm not sure exactly what they do for women that want to be men, but again, you got to get your battle scars. Oh yeah, they cut off the breast, right? You got to get your breast cut off if you are a woman. Meanwhile, in California, a dad claims he lost custody of his son after he questioned his transgender identity. In a separate case, a Texas jury ruled against a father seeking custody of his twin 7-year-old sons in an attempt to stop one of the boys from changing his gender in 2019. That dad expressed concerns Thursday that his ex-wife, pediatrician Dr. Ann Georgioulis, will allow their son, now 9, to be chemically castrated. Yeah, so again, fathers, that have to deal with these custody battles. Again, they always get the ish end of the stick, right? And sometimes you got to jump through some crazy hoops, and take advantage of some of these woke laws, right? In order to, spend time with your child. It really is a shame that fathers have to do this. Again, you got in the U.S., you got situations where fathers, have no say in their children who, are basically being pushed or brainwashed into transitioning by their mother or by their peers. If they're separated, the father has no say, right? He can't really, do anything about it because, again, the courts always side with the mother when it comes to child custody and decisions for the child, right? And again, it's just one of those things where it'll be interesting to see whether or not more fathers start jumping through these hoops, start taking more of these desperate measures, like, for example, changing their sex, right, to try to technically become mothers on their birth certificates or whatever, in order to gain custody of children. Again, it just represents a problem, right? It is a problem when the courts are just in favor, or clearly in favor of women when it comes to child custody, when it comes to divorce. This is systemic discrimination against men, and you never hear feminists, right, ever say anything about this. The people that claim they want equal rights for men and women, right, we're all the same, they never complain about this. They never say anything about this. Why in the world should a father have to become trans, right, or identify as a woman in order to get equal rights and equal custody to his children? It makes no sense whatsoever. So shout out to this father for doing what he got to do, right? Much respect to him. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.